In this video, I'm going to provide some examples in which you need to determine the volume of liquid or suspension that you need to give for a given order. In this example, the order is for ibuprofen 250 milligrams PO every 4 to 6 hours PRN, and ibuprofen is frequently given for pain or fever. And so you need to determine, in order to give 250 milligrams, you need to determine how many mils you need to give. So I'm going to set this up as I have done in previous videos, in which at the far right, I'm going to put the unit that I need to give, and I need to give mils. And I'm going to leave a little space for my answer, and over on the far left, I'm going to put what the order is. So what I need to give. In this case, I need to give 250 milligrams. So I see over here on the label that 100 milligrams there's 100 milligrams in every 5 mils of solution. So what we can say in this situation then is we know that 100 milligrams in this case is equal to 5 mils. So those are equivalent values. So remember, as we said before, you can put equivalent values over themselves, and that will equal 1, because in this case 100 milligrams is equal to 5 mils. And so I can do that, or I can flip it the other way around and say 5 mils over 100 milligrams, and both of those are equal to 1. Again, because any value over an equivalent value is equal to itself, just like any value over itself is equal to 1. So what I'm going to do then is I'm going to multiply by 1 throughout until I get the units that I want. So I'm going to look at this one and this one, and I'm going to decide which one of these two I want to multiply by in order to get the units that I need, which is milliliters. So I see if I take this one, I'm going to multiply by 5 mLs over 100 milligrams. And I'm going to cross out my units, cancel my units, and I see now I'm left with mils, and that's what I want to give, and I don't have any other units, so I've already completed my problem. And so I just need to do the math. 250 times 5 over 100, and that is equal to 1250 mils over 100, which is equal to 12.5 mLs. And again, my units are the same. So in this situation, in order to give 250 milligrams, I will give 12.5 milliliters. So in this example, we have Vibramycin, or doxycycline is the generic title for that, or name for that. And we have 25 milligrams in every 5 mils. And we're required to give 150 milligrams PO Q12 hours. And this is an oral suspension. So again, we need to know how many milliliters we want to give. So I'm going to set this up the same. I'm going to put my equal sign over here, and I need to give milliliters. And over here, the order, so what I need to give is 150 milligrams. And now I notice here again 25 milligrams in this situation is equal to 5 mils. And given that they're equivalent values, we can put one over the other, which is the same, it is almost the same as putting one over itself, or a number over itself. And we knew that those are equal to 1. So we know that we can multiply by 1 throughout. So if I'm going to multiply by 1 multiple times, I'm going to end up with 150 milligrams. But that doesn't help me very much, so I want to multiply by a different form of 1 so that I can come up with the number of milliliters that I need to give. So I'm going to multiply by one of these, and again, I want to end up with mils on the top of my equation. So I'm going to take this one, and I'm going to multiply 150 milligrams by 5 milliliters. over 25 milligrams. Again, this is equal to 1, so I'm not changing anything. So I'm going to cancel out my milligrams, and I'm left with 150 times 5 over 25, and that is 750. I'll keep my units in here. 50 mils over 25, and that works out to 30 mils, I believe. So there we have it. In order to give 150 milligrams of doxycycline, I will give 30 milliliters of doxycycline. And now this next example is really very similar. We're going to give Cefaclor 175 milligrams PO Q8 hours, and we need to know how many milliliters to give. And we see in this example 125 milligrams of Cefaclor are in every 5 milliliters of Cefaclor. So I'm going to set it up again, just as before, leave my little blank. I want to give mils, and over here I'm going to put my 175 milligrams, and I want to multiply by 1, but I'm going to put a different form of 1. And in this situation again, we see that 125 milligrams is equal to 5 mils of Cefaclor. And because those are equal values, I can divide each one by the other one. 125 milligrams. There we go. And we know because this is equal to this, then the overall value is 1. So I can multiply by either one of those. So I'm going to multiply by 1, but I'm going to multiply by a different form. I'm going to cross out, erase my 1, and I'm going to multiply again by the one that has the mils on top because I want to give milliliters. And I'm going to multiply by 5 mils over 125 milligrams, and that works out to, so that is 875 mils over 125 milligrams. I forgot to cancel here, so that is wrong. And this works out to 7 mils. So again, in order to give 175 milligrams of Cefaclor, I will give 7 milliliters of Cefaclor. Okay, so for this example, it's slightly more complicated. The order is for amoxicillin 0.25 grams, PO, that should read Q8 hours, and you need to know how many milliliters you want to give. So we'll look over here at the label again, and the label tells us that there's 125 milligrams in 5 mils, so I'm going to write that out. 125 milligrams is equal to 5 mils. And again, we can change that. Because these are equal values, we can flip them over each other, and we know that those are both equal to 1. So let's start over here, and I'm going to put my blank, and I know that a question I need to give is how many mils, and the order is for 0.25 grams. Now, we have a little bit of a problem here because this dosage tells us what we have in milligrams and not in grams. So we need to know how to convert. So we should know that for every 1,000 milligrams is equal to 1 gram. So because these are equal values, I can say that 1,000 milligrams over 1 gram, that's the value over itself, is equal to 1, and I can flip it the other way. This is exactly what I did up here. 1 gram over 1,000 milligrams is equal to 1. So I'm going to, again, I'm going to divide or multiply across by ones. I can do it as many times as I want and won't change the value, but I'm going to use alternate forms of 1 again. So for this one, I can start with pretty much either one that I want. So I'm going to start with these. And I'm going to decide I have mils that I need and I want them on the top. And therefore, I'm going to choose this one. And I'm going to multiply by 5 mils over 125 milligrams. But I see that I'm not able to cancel any of my units yet. And I've got grams in here and I've got milligrams. And I know that I don't want either one. And so how can I get rid of both of those? I'm going to multiply by one of these. And I'm going to choose the one that's going to be able to get rid of both of my units. So right now I have grams on the top. In order to get rid of those grams, I want grams on the bottom. So I think I'm going to choose this one. This gives me 1,000 milligrams over 1 gram. And now I'm going to do my cancellation of units. My grams cancel, my milligrams cancel, and the only unit I have left is mils. That's what I want. So I know I'm done. So now I just need to do the math. So that works out to 1,250 over 125, and therefore the total is 10 mils. Now, if I had done it the other way, obviously I could have decided that I was going to do my conversion with the grams first, so I would have put 0.25 grams times 1,000 milligrams over 1 gram, and then times 5 mils. Obviously, that's the same. You're going to get the same answer. So that's it. I hope that this wasn't too confusing, especially this last part. And we'll have more videos to come on IV calculations.